Welcome to the Pearls of Wisdom podcast, brought to you by Southern Jewelry News and Jewelry Store Marketers.
Welcome to the Atlanta Jewelry Show and the Pearls of Wisdom podcast. And today, I have a mortal enemy, a sworn enemy.
Sworn enemy.
Somebody who thinks that they won a rib contest when I won the rib contest.
You're deluded.
Everybody, this is Chris Snowden with Snowden Jewelers in where?
Wilmington, North Carolina.
Wilmington, North Carolina.
Yeah.
Now who founded the 10 Carat Club?
So that was Paul Mackheels.
Okay.
He's with Charms Plus.
All right, and so just for everybody to understand that there's something at the Atlanta Jewelry Show known as the 24 Carat Club. But there's a lot of us that can't get in the 24 Carat Club. So the 10 Carat Club was formed. And so Chris was a member. And on my initial inauguration to this, that we decided to have a rib cook-off.
Yeah.
And I won. And
You did not win.
okay, but you know, like I was telling people in some of the other podcasts at the show, that there's people here that you can bring in. It's not like you have to call somebody. So I've got the deck stacked for me because I have Brenda. Would you like to come in here?
Hey, Brenda.
Hey, Bill. Hey, Chuck.
All right, this is Brenda Gamba from the Jewelers Board of Trade. And so I say I won the contest. Chris, who do you think won?
I won. Chuck, you used Kraft barbecue sauce. What respecting rib master doesn't make their own sauce?
Because my ribs are so good that I didn't have to do a sauce. So Brenda, here's where you come in.
This is when I was asked to taste both, and I said, I think Chuck's ribs are the best, but Bill's sauce is the best.
Chris
sorry. Chris' sauce is the best. So why not put those two together?
And we're like, what?
that was a little too much.
So we put them together and high five.
Yeah,
High five.
Winners all around.
I'm telling you,
right.
that turned out to be really good. Whoa, I hope that didn't make a big noise. But now something else we just discovered, because like one of the beauties of the show is you're not just texting or talking. So you are from Wilmington, North Carolina.
Right.
And Brenda, you said...
I live in Southport, North Carolina, which is about 40 minutes away from Wilmington.
Yeah, and they're neighbors. And so that's one of the
did not
beauties.
know that.
That's one of the beauties of the show is you actually learn things and, can form relationships. So, Brenda, we're going to have you on a little later for a different one, but I just needed to settle the score that
happy to oblige.
It was a kind of a tie with me edging as 51-49.
Chuck's
anyway, Brenda, thanks for stopping in.
You're welcome.
Okay, so anyway, tell us a little bit about your store.
So I've got a jewelry store in Wilmington, North Carolina. We've been there for 33 years. My dad and I started it 33 years ago. My dad was in the jewelry business way before that and brought me up in the business. I've been in it since I was a bench jeweler. I started being a bench jeweler at 12 and I don't do much at the bench anymore. I've got a great bench jeweler and I go in pinches and help, so Dad retired about 12 years ago, so I run the retail side. Well, I'll run the whole thing, but it's we're just a middle income, regular run of the mill. We're not guild. We don't carry Rolex or anything. We carry everything else though.
Well, how big is your town? Like, how many people are in your town?
I think Wilmington has right at 200,000.
Okay, so it's a fairly big town.
It's a pretty big town, and it's getting bigger all the time because everybody loves to move there. Everybody retires to Wilmington. It's a great seaside town.
Yeah, I'm out of Nashville, Tennessee, and we've been the it city long enough that we've now got people are putting up billboards that are saying we're full. No, Nashville's full. Go somewhere else.
Well, unfortunately, several years ago when I-40 was opened up into Wilmington, a bunch of residents made up a bunch of bumper stickers that said, we're at the end of I-40 East. And they made up a bunch of bumper stickers that said, I-40 West, use it.
Yeah, Nashville has that. So anyway, so what I'd kind of like people out here, our audience, to know is that as a retailer, why do you come to the show? Because you can just do all this online.
You can do it online, and I've got a lot of vendors that visit in my store to sell me things. But there's a lot of reasons to come to the Atlanta Jewelry Show. First of all, I can look around and find new vendors that I haven't used before, and that's what I've done at this show. I've picked up quite a few vendors that I haven't previously used. Plus, there's community. There's so many people here. It's nice to see people that you haven't seen in a while and kind of pick their brain about what's working for them in the industry, and you can share with them what's working for you in the industry. So
because it's every marketing material that we get, it's the greatest thing since sliced bread.
Exactly.
But it's also kind of interesting because that's the marketing department. They're just basically writing a bunch of big words that say this is the greatest thing.
Yeah.
But it's also nice to be here and talk to people to hey, did you try this line? Did it work? And a lot of times the vendors will say hey, just a second, here's somebody who's carrying it, and walk them over, and you can talk to another retailer that's carrying this line.
Right.
And they can give you their experience.
Yeah. I haven't met one vendor yet when I ask them how well their line does that has told me that their line doesn't really do all that well. Every single one of them tells me their line is the best thing out and it's selling like hotcakes.
Yeah.
But when I go and eat in the cafe here inside the show, I normally sit with other retailers who I don't know.
Yeah.
And my one thing that I always do is say, have you found anything here in the show that's a must-have? And everybody always has one guy told me you need to go over and see the Glock watches that are on display.
I saw the bag and I thought what's somebody carrying a gun bag for? And then I happened to notice it said Glock watches.
Yeah.
And I haven't been to the booth yet, but I've got to go look.
It's brand new. The product actually isn't going to be ready for release until October. But we signed up for the watch because we like Glocks, we like guns, and people in my town really like them too. And I think it'll be a great line. I'm looking forward to getting it in.
I'm going to have to go over and take a look for myself.
Yeah, and it's actually overseen by the Glock company that builds the guns. Yeah, they have a very strong hand in the production side of that company for quality. So,
well, what I'm going to be interested to look at over there is because Glock, as a firearms manufacturer, it's all about the precision and the machining.
Exactly.
And when it comes to watches, now I want everybody to know, I don't know anything about them, but with most watch companies now, they are the standard, there's 8 or 10 standard quartz movements that go inside of them.
Right.
But what differentiates the watches is how well the cases are manufactured and the bands and how well they stand up over time.
Right. And from what they told me, Glock has had a hand in the quality of the production of those watches. So what they're telling me is the watches should be produced at the same standard that the Glock weapon is produced at.
That's going to be interesting. I'm going to have to go take a look.
And they told me the specs on it, like a 2 millimeter thick crystal synthetic sapphire crystal, and different things like that for durability. And I was impressed with the look of the watch and the way it sounded.
I'm going to have to go take a look.
It's really cool.
Anything else you found that?
Well, labs obviously are the biggest thing out now.
How are labs doing in your store?
They've started picking up. We didn't carry them for a long time because when a 1 carat lab cost $4,200 or $3,600, I didn't see the need to sell one. It didn't make any sense. There wasn't enough value there. Now you can sell a 1 carat round lab for $1,200 at retail and make a huge margin on it, and the price may continue to drop on them. I can't predict the future, but I think that the prices have dropped to a point where it makes sense to sell them.
Yeah, and like I say, and when labs first kind of became popular, that I had the same approach you did. That a 1 carat mine diamond is $5,000, $6,000. A lab grown is $4,200.
Right.
There was a justification to talk your customer into spending the extra money.
Right.
But now it's hard to justify. Well, this one here is $6,000 and this one's $1,200.
Right.
And there's a lot of people that really don't have the mindset that we do, because I've been in this my entire life. You've been in it your entire life.
Yeah.
And so mine diamonds is all we've ever known.
Right.
But there are a lot of people, and you look at the people that are starting to get engaged now, that they're in their early 20s, mid 20s, things of that nature, and they don't have the mindset that we do.
Right.
And at my store, I don't really have a call for the mines yet, and like I've said to everybody, that I haven't started losing money by saying no.
Right.
And so, but your stores actually started saying yes. So.
We have. And for me, it's not so much that, okay, you want a 1 carat round and you can pay $5,000 for a natural, or you can pay $1,200 for a lab. My side of it is you've got a budget of $4,000 for an engagement ring, and so instead of a 1 carat round, you can get a 2.5 carat round.
Yeah.
So I'm not encouraging them to spend less money. I'm just encouraging them to spend what they intended to spend, but get a bigger stone.
Yeah, and one of the things I've noticed with labs that I'm seeing a lot of, because back prior to labs being out, and when it was all mined diamonds, if somebody had a $5,000 budget and then they come in and show you a picture on their phone of a $4,000 mounting that, oh, she wants this particular designer mounting, you know, you're going to end up with a 1/4 carat in the center.
Right.
Well, now they can buy that $4,000 designer mounting and get a 1.5 carat in the center and stay within their budget.
That's right.
So it's it's something that all of us retailers have to really start.
I think it's going to give us the ability to maintain a really good margin in our mountings.
Yeah.
And you're going to get a good margin on the lab grown diamond as well. You know, when I was little, everything in the store was triple key.
Yeah.
And there was no discounts.
Yes.
But I'm talking about late 60s, early 70s. You know?
I've been doing it since 78. And so triple key is, and you know what's funny is I still talk to people in the jewelry industry that don't know what those 3 little keys are in the bottom of a catalog.
It's because it's gone away.
Yeah.
I mean,
everybody has it anymore.
There's very few products that you can get triple key out of anymore.
Yeah.
You know, and labs you can.
Yeah. Interesting. So anyway, I'm not going to keep you any longer because you've got a lot of money you got to go out there and spend. So Chris,
thank you, Chuck.
I won that rib contest.
No, you didn't. We'll do another one.
There you go.
We'll do another one.
All right. Thanks for coming in.
Thanks, Chuck.
And thanks for watching the Pearls of Wisdom podcast. Thanks.
Thanks for listening to the Pearls of Wisdom Jewelry Podcast. For more information about the show, please visit southernjewelrynews.com/podcast, brought to you by Southern Jewelry News and Jewelry Store Marketers. Make sure to subscribe on your favorite podcast platform so you can catch the next show. See you then.